How we doing, gents? Hope everyone's well at home. You all right?
Comfy, Chris.
I'm comfy. You don't look very comfy, John.
Looks like I've got a bad Gregory Peck, doesn't it?
I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm all right.
You'll have to excuse the background noise. We're pre-live show, Middlesbrough, and there's karaoke going on across the road. He sounds. I think he's on the cusp of getting a record contract over there.
He's ruined it for me. He started off well, and he's just gone hell for leather and ruined it. Very nasal.
I was just screaming.
Yeah.
I'll put my arm around you.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah. It's very comfy. Bloody hell, they're big there, aren't they? Like
I thought you were going to say
tree
we're going to get very close to calling him in tonight.
we could get him in for a bit of half-time entertainment. Hope everybody's well. Malcolm Christie part 2.
Yeah, and a little bit of a different theme to it this week.
Completely different to part 1, but emotional, I feel, is the right word to use.
Part 1 was very good.
Yeah. Really
Gone down
good.
very well.
Yeah.
And all, hasn't it?
Just the way that his career went thereafter. Like I think we said, like Malcolm Christie was one of them for me. Like, remember him, and then what happened? What happened to Malcolm Christie? And he reveals all.
Yeah, sad.
Just wondering why I never got the short memo.
Well, my jeans are over there.
Oh,
Mine are as well. Mine's in the bag.
This is my travelling attire.
Oh, is it?
This is pre-show, John. Pre-show
Yeah,
comfort.
I'm not going out like this. Look, stay to me.
You're getting changed as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I had possibly the worst day of my life.
Oh my God.
On Thursday, I'm not even
It
joking.
can't keep happening, can it?
I'm not even joking.
He's got a better he's got a better imagination him than
Honestly.
J.K. Rowling.
What was the... So we had the live show Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's happened there?
Thursday. I got home. We went out in the afternoon. Rose got a bag of crisps. And I don't know what they were. There's some wheat things. And she put them on side, and they were there for a couple of hours, going back. And I went back and had one. They'd gone soft, but they were them that are still nice soft. You know, like this, you can still eat them. And then I thought, I'll tidy up a bit round house. So I got a carrier bag. You know, you get a carrier bag and hanging on cupboard door.
Yeah.
Pottering round and chucking stuff in. And I come back down. I went upstairs doing a few bits. I come back down. This bag of crisps were in the bin. So I thought, did you chuck them away for? So I got them back out again. Waited. So I thought, there's still some in. So in one swift motion, I've put them in my hand, straight in the mouth. In my teeth on this side, it's crumbly, but soft at the same time. It's got a strange texture. So I was like, what's that? I've ran to the sink, spat out, brown. And she's gone into utility room. Cat's come out at litter, and shit's fallen off him. She's put it in crisp bag and chucked it in bin. I chewed it all. It were all in my teeth. I ran upstairs. I've never scrubbed my teeth so much in my life. I like mirror, try and get it out. It were well in.
Oh,
well,
cat shit.
I was chewing on cat shit.
What was it like on the palate?
Oh, it
Tasting
wasn't
that?
nice. It wasn't nice. It was wheaty again, a bit like the crisp, but no, it wasn't good. And all I had were Rose, Oscar, Juno just laughing at me.
That's
Innit?
up there with the most filthy.
That's horrible, isn't it?
They get worse. I feel like there's more to come.
No.
I wouldn't say that would be the worst day in your life. Maybe
No.
about 10 minutes, but
Heck,
not the worst day in your life.
Chewing on a shit?
Yeah.
But not the worst day of your life. You've had worse experiences than that, surely.
Don't know.
Oh.
We also got the picture sent through of your mate who got clattered.
Oh, the lad who got battered and bruised.
Yeah.
Have we?
Have we got
I
the
put it in the
picture?
group.
Did you?
Yeah.
I must have
Oh,
missed
look,
it.
can have it popping up on screen. What's his name?
I can't remember, but he said he didn't get hit in the nose. It was on the back of the head. But
Don't like the truth getting
Exactly.
the story. Are you looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, yeah.
you look smart, John.
I know.
I've never seen you as smart.
Double denim.
It's not denim, is it? Cotton shirt.
Double denim.
It's a linen cotton blend, Chris.
Is it?
Yeah. He knows that.
Huh?
For the audio viewers, I'm just smiling. Smirking.
Last one, innit?
Yeah,
the
last live show.
We have to say a little bit for the Queen, haven't we?
You want to do a speech again?
No, but obviously just terrible news, innit?
God save the king.
I know. Have you seen his fingers?
Yeah, he has got
He's got very strange Judge Winders.
I'll have to have a look.
A little bit like as though somebody's pumped his hands up.
I've seen the video of him telling somebody to move something from the desk.
sausages. They do look like a full pack of Richmond.
That ring on his little finger, honestly, it must hurt.
I'll have to have a look.
It's tight.
Is it?
Like tight as in stopping circulation tight.
Gout that. Too much rich living.
You think? But yeah, God save the king.
Old Forest, Chris.
We have got another live show coming up, haven't we? That's just
We have actually, yeah.
Homecoming. Hey, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to checking out a beefer afterwards.
Sunday night.
Ooh.
I don't know what's happened Sunday nights now, but yeah, we're doing a show at the Garrison in Barnsley.
One extra show added, Barnsley. What date, John?
13th of November, Sunday night, Jerry Taggart.
Mr. Jerry Taggart. So,
to be fair, I think Tags has been as best guest.
yeah. So it'll be a good one. We'll put a link in the description if you can make your way to Barnsley, then come on down. Or if you live in Barnsley.
And we keep getting a bit of pressure from Ireland, don't we? Lads, when the fuck are you coming to Dublin? So we might have to get one. Unfortunately, we might have to book a weekend away in December and get one in over there.
Sorry, love, it's work.
Can't do anything.
What can we do?
Got to give the people what they want.
We might not make fuck all off it, but we'll have a good bloody kick at ball, won't we?
Should we get Malcolm in?
Yeah, let's get him
for
in.
part 2. If you've not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, by the way, please do. It'd be nice.
The percentages are coming down. What was that fact you pulled out? Only 50% of the people watching
are subscribed. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed,
just
sort
click
your
it.
shit
Don't
out.
cost you now, does it?
No, you just have to press a button.
One click.
Yeah,
one
and then
click.
and you can press that little bell button. Apparently, you press that and it tells you every time we get a new.
So you get notifications and that.
Yeah.
No brainer, innit?
Yeah.
Straight on it. Right, let's get Malcolm
Come
out.
on then, Malcolm.
Come on. I was just going to say, talking about that Man United being a massive fan and everything, one of the highlights of your career must have been, because we talk about that season before, Derby on the verge of relegation, got to go to Old Trafford, not expected to get anything.
Yeah, well, it is the highlight of my career. There's no taking back, and I think that I suppose you guys will understand, talking the way that I got into football, and maybe that sliding doors moment where I could have been a Manchester United fan sitting in the Stretford End watching, that game as a fan. There's a reality of what potentially that could have happened, and then fast forward, 2 to 3 years later, that we've got to go to Old Trafford with a depleted Derby County team, which we had, and get a result, was just like my dream game, my dream moment. And
It's right the Rover stuff, really. Isn't it?
It is a bit,
right about it.
and like I remember in the United were being presented with the league trophy that day as well, so it's a bit of a, you can imagine the atmosphere, the crowd. No, it's like by then. No, I was like, obviously I was a Derby fan by that point. I'd sort of switched allegiances a little bit. I didn't have the posters up in the bedroom wall or anything like that. So, for me to, I never forget, like they put the team sheet up, the Man U team up, and I remember looking at that team and thinking, we can beat these. Weird, because like I would never have dreamt of saying that, because they rested a few of the players. Barthez was in goal. They had Ronnie Walwork at the back. Michael Stewart was playing, but they did have they had Andy Cole, Teddy Sheringham. So they had like a mixture of players. David Beckham was playing as well, and I just remember putting the team sheet up and thinking, we can beat these. And I think everybody else sort of felt that as well. And the game sort of panned out for me, perfectly. If you'd have said to me before that match that we were going to win 1-0 and I was going to score the only goal scoring in the Stretford End, it's strange in a way that I look back and have that as my special moment, because it wasn't winning anything as such. I've got Roy Keane in me here thinking, we're celebrating avoiding relegation. It's hell, isn't it? You know what I mean? But we did it. It was an incredible, incredible day. My parents, again, when I reflect back how they were thinking and feeling, were in the crowd. And I, as a Manchester United fan, still inside of me, I got applauded off the pitch at the end of the match by all the United fans as well. I'll probably get reminded, if you type in my name on YouTube or whatever, it'll come up the miss that I had. I had like an unbelievable chance to make it 2-0 second half. Lee Morris, Kincladsey played the ball through. Lee Morris pulled the ball back. I was probably from here, Brownie to you, goal there. Barthez there, post where that camera is there. So I had that amount of goal to aim at from here. All got played along, and I fucking put it wide.
I'd have done the same, mate. Don't worry about it. We had loads of people asking about the hat trick that never was as well.
Yeah.
And I still don't think it was a foul.
Is this the season after?
Yeah. Yeah. So Jim Smith had left. John Gregory had took over. John Gregory, yeah. Is there any opinions of John Gregory?
We've had a couple.
We've heard some tales about John Gregory.
Yeah. I like
First impressions.
I loved him.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really. He was like what we needed at that time. We'd been so used to Jim and his ways and his demeanour. Colin Todd took over. Bear in mind, Colin was Jim's assistant, who took all the training anyway.
So nothing changed, really.
Same shit, different bucket kind of thing. Yeah. So then he left. Then Billy McEwen took over for a short period of time. Well, Billy was the coach anyway. So nothing changed there. Then suddenly, obviously, Gregory left Villa. And then I can't get Greg. I mean, Gregory was like quite a big name manager.
Next England manager,
yeah. So like, I was thinking, nah, he ain't going to come. Then I think, he used to play, mind you, he was an ex-Derby player, wasn't he? So then he got linked and he came in and I'm thinking, fucking hell, that is a good signing for us, that. Really, really good. Honestly, he was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I loved his training sessions. I loved his whole demeanour. I loved how he used to turn up for training.
This for you is only your second ever manager.
He turned up in the best car and he got out of the car and he was immaculate. His hair was immaculate. He smelled nice. His clothes. And I was like, oh, yeah. That's how a Premier League manager needs to be. You know, obviously, some people would look at that and go, what a dick.
Yeah.
What a knob. Oh, look at him. Thinks he's, you should join him with training. Everyone tried to kick him. Do you know what I mean? Because he still thought he could. And he could still play, in all fairness. But I really liked him. I thought he was a breath of fresh air, exactly what we needed at the time. And do you know what? He got everybody in. Got everybody in straight away. And he basically bullshitted everyone. He told them how good they were. He told me how good I was. I went in there and he sat me down. I thought, well, fucking hell. I'm looking around because this was Jim Smith's office. I was like, fucking someone else is sat there. I was thinking, the only time I've ever been in here is for a fucking bollocking. Right? So there I am sat there and he went, do you know what? I really rate you as a player. So fucking straight away like that. Oh, okay. Do you know what? There's not a lot of difference between you and Michael Owen. I'm like, well, fucking what? Bear in mind, Owen's just won the Ballon d'Or. I went, okay. Right? He said, do you know the difference between you and Owen? I went, I felt like saying about 30 fucking goals. But he went, he's got Steven Gerrard. I went, right. And I was fucking looking, expecting fucking Gerrard to fucking pop in the fucking, what are we signing him? So he went, if we can get the ammunition into you, I'm telling you, you will play and score like Michael Owen. I was fucking sat there and you can imagine, I fucking walked out of that room and I thought, fucking hell, if there was a brick wall there, I'd have fucking smashed through it for him.
And he wears
Honestly. He did it really, really clever. So he got people in at different stages and he just told everybody how good they were. And you know what? We went out, we had Tottenham, first game. Tottenham were a decent team, Premier League at the time. And we beat them 1-0. First game, and there was he, scored the goal. He was fucking jumping down the touchline, Gregory, in front of the Derby fans. Yeah, fucking like this. And you know what? I was thinking, wow, what a transformation this is. So we were still in the relegation mire. He took over when we were in the shit. So he was trying to come in to save us. If he'd have come in before, when Jim Smith got the sack, I know that's irrelevant because he was at Villa, but if he'd have come in then, I think in the October, when Jim got the sack, if he'd have come in then, we'd have stayed up, 100%. But he came in too late. After the Colin Todd experience, we ended up getting thumped left, right and centre when Colin come in. And then took over too late, had some good performances, culminating in, I think, that performance that a lot of Derby fans remember, because Man United came to us. They were going for the league with Arsenal, so they had their full shebang out. You know, all the players: Van Nistelrooy, Solskjaer, Veron, Keane, Scholes, Giggs. It was the proper team. And again, no one gave us a real hope, but we just felt like we could maybe full house, live on Sky. And yeah, the game for me, you know, I scored 2 goals. It was 2-2. I ended up equalising with about 12 minutes to go, make it 2-2. And I think in injury time, Branko Struper took a shot. Barthez comes out, spills it straight in front. There's me. I'm already charging in towards him. Bang, straight at the same time. Go in. Ball comes out. I take a little touch and I hit it in outside of my right foot into the goal. Fucking place. Rups. Fucking hell. 3-2. Got fucking hat trick. First time ever. A hat trick against Man U in the Premier League, because I knew the stats, mine, because I was like fucking Man U fan. Like, there I am. I thought, before I'm going to celebrate, like, fucking look round, make sure it's at the goal, make sure it's a goal. I look round and the referee's fucking pointing down there where Barthez was. I was like, oh my God, I do not believe it. Gutted, absolutely devastated. You know, they like bang the cameras, don't they? Straight away, you come off the pitch. What about that? I was like, oh, well, you know, just one of them things, isn't it? You know,
media training paid off again.
You know, we went in there at the same time, and you know, a bit fucking inside. I was going, I do not bloody believe that. Obviously, Gregory came out and he was going, biased decision. If that had been at the Stretford end of Old Trafford, I know what would have been given. Ferguson come out, didn't he? He said Christie's goal's fine, not a problem with that. It was a goal, and obviously to hear Alex Ferguson, my
Messiah,
my God. You know, it's the first time and only time, and I've got it on camera, like he said my name. Do you know what I mean?
We're back in the fan mode.
Incredible. Because I'd always, you know, that Man United theme runs through, and I never forget, I'd had that scout come and watch me, remember at Nuneaton Borough, with Man United scout was there, but it was like nothing ever materialised. And I always wanted to be linked with Man U. No matter where, I want somewhere along the line, and I never forget it. I've still got the cuttings because my dad kept the clippings, even to this day. Oh. I never forget it. It was in the newspaper. I think it was around about 2002. We got relegated, and it said Ferguson in for Gabriel Batistuta, Argentina. I was reading it. Fucking hell. Okay, yeah. And if that one doesn't fall through, then he's interested in Derby's Malcolm Christie. I was like, fucking, I'm going to Man U. Daily State, you know, where it's like, it's so obscure as you can get, you know, like the transfer rumours, you know, when you're sort of obscure. I was like, oh, fucking hell, I'm going to Man U here. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, and I've still got that clipping to the day. And that's as close as I probably ever got to joining Man U, is having that newspaper clipping. But to hear Alex Ferguson say my name, and I'd always wanted, you know, or dreamt that somewhere along the line I would play my part in them, potentially not winning the league, but, you know, by that stage, you know, it wasn't really. It was Derby County was running through my blood, really. So, you know, I was in love with that club rather than Man U.
Feeling so connected to the club, like you said, but almost like a fan. How was the relegation then? Was it something you took personally?
Yes, yeah. But I suppose it's the one regret that I have in my time, that I never played in a successful Derby County team. When I got into the team, it was struggle, relegation. So when we reflect back at the time, I suppose, them memories for Derby County fans are incredible. Do you know what I mean? Look where they are now. You know what I mean? League One, are they even got an existence at the moment with what's going on? So them fans must look back and think, wow, what an incredible time that was to be part of the club. But yeah, to get relegated, it was really, really hard to take, because the hardest of it was everyone expected us to be promoted the next season because of the players we had. But changing a losing mentality to a winning one's I felt that really hard.
It happens quite regularly, doesn't it? That the teams that come down from the Prem struggle. Some bounce back.
Yeah.
And we had a target on our back because of the players we had. Like, obviously I stayed, Ravanelli stayed. We had kind of big name players in there that everyone wanted to come to Pride Park, yeah, because we'd been in the Prem for by that stage 5 or 6 years. So it was like everyone wanted to come, you know, and you know, and we were going to some, and I think as players become acclimatized to going to these nice stadiums, you know, the Old Trafford's, Liverpool's, you know, suddenly we were going to Rotherham, Gillingham, fucking getting changed in porter cabins and shit. You know what I mean? Brighton at the Withdean. And it was just we're having players around us who weren't maybe acclimatized to what that was going to bring.
Can't imagine Fabrizio enjoyed the porter cabin.
I don't know, and it just didn't work out in any way, shape, or form. And obviously, had been touted to leave the club during that relegation sort of summer as such, which didn't happen. I should have gone to Middlesbrough. during that summer, but didn't. I ended up going out with England under 21s at the time to the European Championships 2002 and didn't kick a ball. So I went out there finishing that season thinking, right, I'm going to go to England under 21s. Bear in mind, I'd been involved in all the qualifiers pretty much. Come on as sub, started a few of the games. Thought, right, go out here, fucking shop window, similar to where I'd been like at Nuneaton Borough. All the scouts there from all the Prem clubs. I'd go there, play and do really well. Bear in mind as well that I'd been tapped up previous by Steve Round, who had came to my house at the end of that season. He was assistant at Middlesbrough.
We just knocked on.
Yeah, just knocked on the door after one of the games. Turned up, opened the door. Steve Round here. Okay, what's he doing here? Bear in mind, I'm Derby County player and he's Middlesbrough's assistant manager, I think, at the time. Do you want to come up to Middlesbrough and have a look round? I think, oh, it's a bit uneasy. Well, bring your dad up if you want, yeah. So we ended up going up the road to meet Steve. He showed us round. I was seduced straight away by the training ground. Man in mind, I was used to a derelict Ram Arena as such, which was on Rainsway in Derby. So this was a state-of-the-art facility, changing rooms, padded seats, your own locker. Like, wow, hydrotherapy stuff, hot tubs, 3G, 4G pitches. Wow, this is amazing. Like almost like on cue, walking me down into Steve McLaren's office, like sitting me down there. Yeah, we've put a bid in for you. This was at the end of the season. Mind, this was at the end of the season. And we're just waiting for Derby to come back. They've come back. They want £9 million for you. Fucking hell, £9 million. Bear in mind, I've just been relegated. He said, we've bid 6. And at the moment, that's where we're not really going to look to go anymore. But you get yourself away with England and come back and we'll see where we're at. I was thinking, bloody hell, 6 million. It's a fucking lot of money. You know, considering where I was a few years earlier.
And you're still on your $3,000 a week?
Yep. So go away with England. Didn't kick a ball. Massimo Macaroni played for Italy in the tournament. Was Italy's and the tournament's top scorer. Italy win the trophy. Guess who?
Rocks up at Middlesbrough.
Guess who rocks up at Middlesbrough? £8 million. My move. My transfer. Devastated.
Did anybody speak to you from Middlesbrough on why?
They just said, yeah, I'd spoke to Steve McLaren and he just said they'd gone for another target, but sit firm. We're
still interested.
Remember, the transfer window closes. This is when the transfer windows are out at this time. And then, so I go into that new season with Derby. You can see, I'm Derby, we're going to get back up. But, you know, there was obviously part of me that I'm watching, you know, Middlesbrough start of the season. I'm thinking, are they scoring? Is Massimo Macaroni hit the ground running?
Yeah.
You know, is he doing that or not? And then I think up until that January transfer window, I'd scored 8 goals, I think it was, up to the transfer window. So I hadn't set the world alight, but I was the only one that was really scoring in that team as well. So my name was still there. And it came towards the end of the transfer window and the club Middlesbrough were again wanting to sign me. Derby County, poor business, obviously, because I ended up signing for Middlesbrough. Both me and Chris signed for £3 million, the pair of us, in the January, because Derby needed the money. It unravelled massively. The financial state of the club, obviously, they're not in a position now, are they? But it unravelled very, very quickly after they got down. As soon as they realised they weren't going to get back up straight away, then boop, panic button. Everyone got sold. Danny Higginbottom got sold. Poom got sold. Seth Johnson got sold previous. And then me and Chris went.
They put all the chips on getting back up straight away. Yeah.
And they just narrowly avoided relegation. Yeah, so I went into Middlesbrough. Like, I'd gone from potentially, if I'd have played for England and done well, that move would have been mine.
Yeah.
And I would have gone into Middlesbrough as a club record signing, and my life and career might have, I know it's all coulda, shoulda, woulda, might have taken a different direction. I signed into Middlesbrough almost like a little bit of an afterthought, a little bit, on transfer deadline day, and they signed Michael Ricketts on the same day. And bear in mind, Michael Ricketts was probably, in stature at that time, bigger name than me. Played for England, Bolton, scored goals, Prem. But anyway,
do you automatically feel like you were down on the pecking order coming into
a little bit? Yeah, it just didn't feel right about that Michael Ricketts transfer. Don't necessarily think it was needed. I mean, he didn't set the world alight at all, but I mean, I didn't, in all fairness. But so I went in, not really mentally, I could have at the start, because the first game was away at Liverpool, and I was on the bench. Ricketts was playing. I was like, this is not how I envisaged it.
Wasn't the fanfare that you wanted on arrival.
See, this is where I'm going back to. When I know about this bid, I'm leaving England. Because I'm not playing anyway. I'm leaving England and I'm going to knock on the chairman's door at Derby, and same as Marlon Harewood, I'm going to shit on his desk. I'm going to do everything I can to make that move happen.
But you see where I was at as well. I was so flattered as well that they wanted to keep me, and I felt a little bit on my shoulders that I was part of that team that got relegated. That if they viewed me so highly, I needed to show that club that I could be the man to fire them back up into the top division.
So my next thing is, well, Derby, I want a new contract. So I'm on 3,000 minus 25%. So you're on 2,250 quid a week. You'll think I'm worth 9 million quid. I want paying as a £9 million player.
Have you ever thought about becoming an agent? I'd have loved you to have been my agent at the time. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. If the club views me as a £6 to £9 million player, I was not being paid a £6 to £9 million player.
Exactly. And
absolutely not.
And as your agent, I'm telling you to go in pre-season and kick every football as far as you can. Ruin the sessions. That might not be in your nature, but the amount of money that you're going to end up getting paid, you can be anything, can't you? You can be, if you want to be a prick, you can be a prick.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's times when I look back and reflect back that I wish possibly things were different in that side of things, definitely financially, because when they negotiated my Middlesbrough contract, Keith Lamb, who was the chief executive at the time, my agent came in and said, they've offered you less than you at Derby. I was like, that, I cannot believe, you what? The first, we talked about that first contract offer. They'd offered me, and I remember thinking, massively insulted. And yeah, so we went in, me and Chris. So he was Chris's agent as well. So he ended up negotiating, I think, the same contract, me and Chris, which again, I thought that maybe Chris was a defender, I was an attacker. What's the hardest position to play in the team? Probably centre forward. I probably would have thought that. We ended up signing the same contract. I knew that because obviously I spoke to Chris about that. So I ended up signing a contract at Borough for the first 6 months. So for the remainder of that season, signed in the January, that was be paid $5,000 a week for the first 6 months. And then after that, it would be 12 grand rising every year until I left, about £500 every year. I was content with that contract.
See, that's an incredible contract, but that's not a contract. You're not signing that contract if you're getting bought for 6-7 million quid as the record signing. You're probably double that.
Oh, at least. I would say I was, even at that level, I was probably one of the lowest paid players in that Middlesbrough dressing room.
Do you think,
pretty sure,
that with the move coming in January and Michael Ricketts being signed and everything at the same time, do you think you would have been a better player coming into Middlesbrough if it had, and it's probably an ego thing, if there had been that more of a fanfare and you were coming in as the £8 million signing, if you'd have got the contract, if you were coming in as a big signing,
the main man,
was it almost a bit of a down squib?
That's a tough question to answer because I didn't, but I think I would have loved that.
Yeah.
Come on, where I've come from and where I've been, if I was signing as a record signing in a Premier League striker.
At a big successful club at the time.
God.
And it's all ball tickling, isn't it? But
look, that's why I said that was a moment where sort of mental side of things as well, going in there, feeling like I was playing a little bit of second fiddle to people, You can imagine how I felt towards Macaroni a little bit, thinking, "Oh, you fucker, you bastard! You shouldn't be here. You should be me." Do you know what I mean?
He's the one on 40.
And I'm thinking, Macaroni. What was he on? What was he? I don't know, 50, 60 grand a week. I don't know. Like, no idea. But I mean, we didn't really talk about them sort of things. But it would have been a lot more than I was on. So yes, when you say, "Oh, yes, it was a good contract," but bear in mind at the end of that 4th year at Middlesbrough, that I was not to earn another penny other than a few grand at Leeds when I had retired, that was to be the end of it.
This is what I mean. Do you know when you're at Derby, no matter how much you love the club and how many T-shirts your mum and dad have got and teddy bears, you've got to be as big a prick, as big an arsehole as you possibly can for that very situation.
Yeah.
So after your 4-year contract with all your injuries, if you'd have earned 50, 40 grand a week for them 4 years, that's £10 million contract just north of, right? As opposed to a £2.5 million contract. So that's why, as a player, you've got to be as big an arsehole as you can, go into Derby, cause some fucking shit.
Can you imagine the hinges on the John Parkin briefcase? They didn't need to be reinforced. Like, just be sat there.
It looks like it'd be a slam. But you know what I mean? I speak about this all the time, and people might think I'm a fucking arsehole for it, but you never know when your career's ending, and you're the perfect case example where you could have been set up for life from being an arsehole at Derby and saying, look, I want to go, I'm not going to play for you, fuck you, right? Whoever manager, Gregory, fuck you, you tan bastard. I'm off. Sell me or I'm going to ruin everything.
Yeah.
No door, no go.
Absolutely. And they're the moments in your life that you sort of look back and reflect. Because you go back as well, like, I felt like I'd earned myself at Derby, and I'd earned the respect of the team and the fans and everything like that. And you think, well, you know, do they owe us something? No, they didn't. But then I remember me and Chris went into the Ram Arena to go and pick our boots up. So the club had agreed a fee. Yeah, it hadn't been, obviously we hadn't agreed personal terms, and they wouldn't let us in to get our boots. They would not let us in to get our boots. They were told, the guy was told, if Malcolm and Chris come in to get their boots, don't give them. I mean, what? Like the blood, sweat and tears I'd given for that club, and I couldn't even go in. I said, don't be absolutely ridiculous. We're coming in here. Oh, well, there's some T's to be crossed and some I's to be dotted. It's not all sorted yet. So if they come in for the stuff, don't give them it. So
that reinforces my point even more.
I'm just like, you know, when you say, oh, I love the club, that situation left us out. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have been the case. It should have been, boys, you know what? Good luck. Yeah, thanks for the all help. You came in here, you cost us 50 grand or whatever, 100 grand. Yeah, you get all, giving you all. Chris, bloody hell, he'd come through the youth. Chris was a Derby fan. Used to stand fucking at the baseball ground with his dad watching he was like Derby through and through. And we left like scratching our heads, getting up at the car, going up the road to Middlesbrough thinking, well, what the fuck was that about?
Mm-hmm. A quick message for our sponsor for this episode, gentlemen. You know who it is. Who is it?
NordVPN.
NordVPN, the best VPN service in the business.
By the way, my mate's getting in bother with it.
Why?
He lives in Spain, right? And he's watching like 6 games a weekend. His missus is going absolutely off her tits.
We're supposed to be getting away from this.
Yeah, we've moved out here, away from it all. And he's watching three games every Saturday, 3 games every Sunday.
On his VPN, gets it on his... It says he's back in the UK and can watch it again.
Yeah, she's furious.
So if you don't know what VPN is, you can bounce your location from wherever you are in the world to wherever you need to be. If you want to watch a game, it's only been showing in the UK, and maybe you're off on your jollies in Cyprus. It's nice Cyprus, isn't it?
Yeah,
and you can bounce back and watch the match, no problem. And that's not the only advantages of NordVPN.
It's the military style.
Military style security for
That's
your
what we like.
Passwords, your bank details, anything you don't want anybody getting the grubby mitts on. You can use NordVPN to secure all your information.
It's not just sport either, is it?
Oh, no.
You spoke about Young Sheldon and stuff.
Yeah, you can. I think you can get cheaper subscriptions to certain.
Mexico Netflix is cheaper.
There you go. So
a little heads up for you there.
Send yourself over to Mexico and then you're watching it for saving a few quid. And
we've got Chris.
Oh, we've always got an offer. As always, all you've got to do is follow the link in the description, the NordVPN link, and get this, 4 months free.
How many?
4 months. 1, 2, 3, 4 months free. And a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like it, it's not working for you. You got 30 days, get your money back.
Speechless.
And how did you fit in the dressing room at Borough when you arrived?
Yeah, well, we touched on earlier, obviously, everything that I'd been through, I think that previous 6 months with the time at Derby had left me in a bit of state of anxiousness, I would say.
Yeah.
Bit stressed, bit like, oh, you know, things didn't happen, should have happened, having to fit in straight away, having to go into a team and perform immediately. I suffered with my mental health massively. And I overthought a lot more than I should have done. And I started suffering from double vision, in all fairness. Driving the car, I used to drive, obviously, to the training ground and just didn't feel myself. Not at all. Like, just looking around, looking at the passenger seat next, it's just like a bit of blurred vision coming over me. I don't feel right here. Anyway, I played a game against Everton. I think it was the second or third game I played for Middlesbrough. Fucking seeing two of the ball when I was running about. Don't feel right here at all. So I came off the pitch half-time. I said, don't feel right here at all. Something's not right with me. So, right, okay. So came into the training ground on the Monday, still suffering from it a bit. And they sent me to get an eye test. And they did me a brain scan. I was suffering from stress. And simple as that.
And it were having that effect on you?
Yeah. When I look back, I know my body now. I never really, everything that I'd done before that was I was kind of dealing with it on the job. There was a big build up to this, and it just hit me like a train. And yeah, anxiety, stress, depression, however you want to put it. I think there was a bit of everything coming over me. And the fact that the club didn't really recognise that, and like I said, sent me for eye tests rather than going, "You're all right. How are you feeling? Is this move? Is it just have a sit and talk to me?" Which is probably what I needed. Fucking hell, I just ended up sort of battling my way through it as best I could. Like, we go saying that I could have gone in there with the mindset of a champion, of a record signing. I went in there affected by the move, bit part feeling like I wasn't going in there at the right stage. And we did, in one of the first training sessions we did, we were in the indoor hall. McLaren set us up, end of the session. Everyone get a ball, halfway line, right? There's a 9-a-side goal at the end. Everyone ping the ball in. As long as you get the ball in the goal on the full, you can go in for your lunch. Fucking hell, straight away I was thinking, I can't do this. Everyone I hit it, fucking hell, scuffed it. High over the bar. Do you know what? If that goal had been fucking 5 times the size, I still wouldn't have hit it. And then it got left. There was me and McLaren left at the end. Bear in mind, McLaren had already hit it. And I was thinking, why have you done this to me? You know what I mean? I was thinking to me, why have you put me under this?
All the rest of the lads still waiting for you to do it.
They're on dessert.
They've gone. They're fucking gone. So, do you know what I mean? Like that, giving that sort of instance about feeling a bit under pressure, a bit under stress. If we'd have done that at Derby a week ago, I'd have fucking hit it the first time. I couldn't fucking hit the goal. High, wide, handsome. I just felt under immense pressure straight away. Didn't feel myself at all. And you know what I mean? You go sort of through that stage. Like I got in the team a bit, scored a few goals, and then 2 games before the end of the season, that's when my injury started. I tore my groin, and the last 2 games of the season. So feeling like that, mentally trying to adjust to the move, playing okay, getting in the team, scoring, then tearing my groin. But then the club wanted me to play the last 2 games because we'll sort it in the summer. You know, the old famous one, we'll get it sorted in the summer. Fucking, I can hardly move. Then I ended up getting, it was called, I don't know if you've heard of it, Gilmore's groin. A guy down in London had the injury named after him. So I went to see him. He operated on me, said it's one of the worst I've seen. Your groin's completely tore off the bone. I don't know how you've played. Fucking hell, I've played the last 2 games there. I was in agony. Fans didn't know. No one said anything. But again, you just expected to sort of play. And again, I wasn't feeling particularly well.
I always wonder, I'm no physician by any stretch, but to the stories that we hear, how much our bodies are connected and how much mental stress plays on your physical injuries at the same time. If you're out of sorts, you're stressed, because how many people are in that situation and then injuries come one after another.
I'd never had an injury at Derby either, or throughout from being 6 years old. So that was the first time that I'd ever had an injury or had to be really treated by a physio. And then I was playing. So what happened is I ended up doing my own kind of pre-season away from the club, the team, but ended up playing the first few games of the season, opening game of the season, not fit. We get a penalty. Job gets brought down in the box. Janino picks the ball up, thinking, fucking hell, I'm feeling not 100% mentally, physically not right. Janino walks over to me, there you go, you take it. fucking hell, this can go two ways, can't it?
Which way did it go?
Fucking missed. Van der Sar, remember, put the ball down, turn round. Van der Sar, fucking, Jesus Christ, he's fucking big unit, isn't he? Turn round, said I was on penalties before the game. Obviously, I think we played a little bit off the cuff with that. And I hit it, saved it. Oh my God, that penalty affected me. I don't think mentally from what I'd been feeling in previous few months, that I ever recovered from that. Like, I remember Gareth Southgate was in the team, and I was thinking, he's going to come and say something to me. It's Gareth, missed penalty in fucking
96.
He'll come up to me. Didn't come up to me. I don't know whether he thought that just leaving me alone might be the best thing.
Yeah.
But fucking hell, I needed someone to put their arm around me and say, it's all right, Mal. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
The thing is, you never experienced this, had you? Because your career's been on such a trajectory from such
I mean, you can see that the way the conversation's gone in terms of like where we're going here. Do you know what I mean? Where you can almost feel the euphoria with the way that my ride went, and that having that penalty miss at that particular stage of my career and where I was at. So that was in the August, first game of the season, Fulham away. We ended up losing again, 3-2. Fucking hell, shoulders were like a fucking weight on them. Then in and out the team. There was a couple of glimpses in there. So I scored in the second round of the Carling Cup, the year that Borough won it. So I scored the winning goal in extra time against Brighton in the first round for the Borough. So that was a nice bright spot, something that the Borough fans will remember me for. Scored a couple of goals as well in the league. And then I ended up breaking my leg in the November 2003 in training, which was basically the end of my football career, really. That's, from the euphoria of everything that I felt and experienced and the way that my career really should have gone from Middlesbrough. Bear in mind all these players that I played with England, under 21s, John Terry, Ledley King, Paul Robinson, Ashley Cole, Joe Cole, Carrick, Defoe, Crouch. Where have all them gone? Where have I gone? Like, fucking hell, I'm sat here with broken leg. Fucking, and the fact that I was never the same player after that.
Can you remember the tackle?
Yeah.
Just one of them.
Yeah. It was with Chris Rickett as well.
We joined from Derby.
Yeah. My mate from Derby. So it was attackers v defenders. Ball got played into me from the goalkeeper. I knocked it round the corner. The ball was there to be won. I'm going in there. I'm thinking I know in my head I'm getting there first. So, and Christie's coming to clear the ball. I thought, right, maybe a bit stupid because you know that you're probably going to get clattered. So I ended up just nicking the ball in front of him, chipping it over his leg, and he had committed to clearing the ball. Bang! Almost like a tree branch snapping. Really loud snap. Straight away, I know 100% somebody's broke the leg. And I just remember that split second think, please don't be me. And I looked up and looked at my shin. I'm like, it's me. Fucking hell. Can you believe it? And I was just like, oh, fucking hell. Chris sort of looked down at his leg, realised, and then looked at mine, realised it was me. And I think any pain that Chris felt at that particular time had fucking washed away from him. Obviously, I was like fucking lying there in pain, grabbing boots of, it was either Mendy, Zenden or whatever, and just fucking holding their boots while I was like fucking laying there. Got a golf buggy type thing to come down, where they carry the equipment on and stuff like that. Fucking got me on there, got me to the hospital. Obviously, I came back, they plaster casted it. They x-rayed it, but they weren't going to use that x-ray for the consultation to what they were going to do with it. Went back to the training ground, saw Chris. Chris was crying his eyes out, fucking gutted. Everyone was like fucking in a bit of a shock. I'm sure there's been other instances of like leg breaks in training, but I suppose it was just the fact that it was me and Chris as well. And, I didn't hold any malice towards him. I think one thing that I do reflect on, and, I don't really know. I mean, I'll say to you, and you tell me how you sort of take this. Massimo Macaroni, again, mention his name again, was going down too easily in matches. Italian, fucking hell. So that actually the defenders have been told purposely to go in hard on the attackers during training. Obviously, they were going in hard, but we're told, obviously, as attackers, we weren't fucking told this. Chris only told me this afterwards. He said, Mal, I would have never fucking gone in for that tackle. But we were told to fucking go in and hit the attackers hard.
To try and toughen Macaroni up?
Look, they didn't say go and fucking break someone's leg. But, and And obviously I felt a little bit probably for Chris in that respect that, you know, he'd been left in a position where, you know, that ball maybe in a normal training session, he'd have fucking just let me get it. Do you know what I mean? And like, so I don't know what, you know, I've just told what's your fucking instances of that? I mean,
I don't think it's up to the coaching staff to say that. I think the lads
or the coach and manager Paul Macaroni into you need to toughen up. Yeah, you know.
Well, this instance, I think Man United had that Ronaldo, didn't they? I mean, Walter Smith, I think, famously said that like we kicked Ronaldo in training, didn't we? So then, like when he played the matches, he was like sort of match tough. I don't know whether there was an element of that went into it a little bit, and they just wanted him to sort of experience what it was like to be kicked in training, and then. But I don't know. It left me in a position where I understood. You know, there's no malice at all with Chris. I mean, we got on and we still, you know, get on great. There's no issues there at all. It just left a little bit like thinking, you know, that little bit of, should it have really happened? Yeah, a little bit of that because that wasn't Chris's game. Chris didn't go around fouling people and stuff. And I just think that maybe if I hadn't have been told that my life might have been a bit different from that point onwards. But the fact that I never got back and became the same player was due to other instances other than that moment. It was to do with medical advice.
Things. Yeah, because I was going to say, when you first saw the consultant, did he say that the chances, I mean, you might make it back, but the chances are you're not going to be the same player? Or was it just, you'll get you back?
It was a simple leg break.
Yeah, I was thinking.
It was a very, very simple break of my tibia. Yeah, the fibula wasn't broken. Yeah, I had a shin indentation because the bone had displaced slightly. And straight away when I saw that, I think, well, it needs operating on because it needs to be put straight. It needs pinning in position. We see the consultant and he said, like, okay, we'll treat it in plaster casts, basically, no operation. Fucking hell, right, okay. So, again, for me, green, naive me, what am I going to do? Trust the people that are around me?
To be fair, mate, I think anybody would do that.
Trust the
professional. You've got a consultant in front of you.
Yeah.
One thing that left me a little bit uneasy, he was saying, well, you know, I've just treated a rugby player, an amateur rugby player, and he's had the same break, and we've done this and this, and I was thinking, okay, but like I'm a Premier League footballer, so like I'm not like, don't compare apples with oranges in some respects. So anyway, so originally when I broke my leg, I was like, right, when am I coming back? Fucking when I can come back, 12, 16 weeks, however, whatever. Oh yeah, we were doing well like that. So then straight away, right, full fucking leg plast, not bottom, full leg cast. Right up to me groin, no movement, right past me ankle. You're going to be in that for 6 weeks. Fucking 6 weeks. Oh my God, 6 weeks in a full fucking leg. So 6 weeks in that, yeah, then what? Okay, then we're going to take the full leg off. We're going to put one up the top, one at the bottom with a knee hinge. Okay, no problem. Then what are you going to do? Right, then we're just going to have the bottom one. Okay, so 3. So fucking adding up the weeks. I think, fucking hell. One thing I was uncomfortable with, I said, bear in mind, the fucking bone's not straight. Oh, yeah. Well, what we do, we get a saw. Yeah. We saw a little hole in the back of your plaster cast and we'll hammer some wooden wedges in the back of it. So it aligns the bone and it aligns the cast at the bottom.
Oh,
fucking hell. That's
leveling a leg, not a shed.
Fucking Pinocchio.
That don't sound right. So straight away I was thinking, nah, this don't sound right. Anyway, fucking, all right, yeah, okay. That's what we're doing.
What's the physio saying at this point? Is he just agreeing?
Yeah, he'd not experienced a leg break for number of years. So again, I think the physio put his hands in this consultant that we were seeing. You know, there was no second opinion. There was no, well, bear in mind, fucking hell, you're going to do all this. If it don't heal straight or don't this or don't that, then, you know, you might need to get it operated on and stuff like that. So you imagine, obviously, by the time already I'm fucking mentally gone, really, already before my injury, a little bit suffering. So straight away, this injury, like, can't play, can't do this, can't do that. But obviously remembering when all this is going on, like Middlesbrough are fucking really successful, got to the final of the Carling Cup, all when I'm in my leg plast, watching what I joined Middlesbrough for, to be successful, be part of a winning team, like suddenly to have to watch that while I'm injured was...
mind-blowing.
Wow. Incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. And I remember when they finally took this cast off my upper thigh, they took it off and I looked at it and I was like, I got no fucking muscle. It wasted away. I remember lifting my leg up and all I saw was like my bone and then the muscle just all soft and all squidgy all on the side of it. Exactly the same for my calf. I was thinking, what the fuck they done to my leg here? Go through all that. Whilst I'm out, Andrew Davies, centre half, snaps his leg in reserve match, I think, against Blackburn Rovers, I think. So I was like, oh my God, fuck it, Dava. Oh, he's going to have to go through all this bastard that I've just been through. Poor lad, poor lad. Anyway, next day goes in for an operation. Bear in mind, they've obviously seen what I've been through with my leg, all these fucking plaster casts, these appointments that I've been through, all these wedges that I've had. Oh, fucking hell, that hurts. Like that. You know, trying to wedge all these in. I've had like probably about 15 visits here, wedging, X-ray, wedge. Oh, we need a bit more. Oh no, leave it on an extra week. So, obviously, the middle of the videos have been all through all this thinking, oh, I know what they would have been thinking at the time.
What was the time frame? Where are you now?
So break my leg in the November. So there was about 3 months. And then Dava broke his leg, I think, in the March, I think.
And you're still in shitloads of pain.
I mean, yeah. So what happened with me is he went in and he had his operation the day after. Come out and he was back at the training ground the next day. And I was thinking, well, what the fucking hell couldn't I have done that? I've just spent like, how many weeks? 10 weeks at home. Bed rest. Fucking getting bed sores in my arse. Because I couldn't get up and couldn't move about. Like, couldn't get a shower. How did I wash? Like, my mum had to come and live with me. Like, I was
so
like...
basically,
I was like a baby again. I was like a baby. Like a newborn baby. Like, I had to be, like, mum had to help me wash. Like, my brother had to go out and get me clothes. I just fucking nightmare. Like, and obviously I was in the training ground and Dava came in the next day and his crutches. Oh, right. Oh, okay.
You're still...
Well, what happened with me is I came out of my legs and my legs were just like looking, they weren't the same. My calf wasn't the same, my thigh wasn't the same. Straight away working on some weights and stuff like that. But when I started walking and putting weight through it, I was thinking, this hurts. This, and it wasn't a little pain, it was a sharp pain. Is this normal?
Every step?
Every step. Every time I put my foot down, I felt pain.
Put your weight on it.
Yeah. So I said to Grant, I said, something's not right here. You'll always feel it. You'll always feel it, no matter what. Maybe a change in temperature in the winter. Like I was hearing all this. Oh, really? Oh, it'll go away then. It fucking didn't go away. So when ended up like doing a little bit of a rehab fitness wise, and Dava, even though he broke his leg 4 or 5 months after me, we did our rehab together.
So same sessions.
Same sessions. Good in some respects, good because I had someone to do me rehab with. Could bounce off Dava, as you know, he's a good lad and stuff. We had a laugh. And I remember we ran. I went, Dava, did your leg hurt when you put your foot down? Were you broke? No. I was like, fucking hell, mine does. What do you mean? I said, every time I put any weight through it hurts. No, it doesn't hurt at all. So again, told them, no, you're all right, you're all right. I went to see Grant. I said, I'm struggling, really struggling. Right, I'm going to prescribe you some painkillers. So they prescribed me some cocodamol to take the edge off the pain. Did. I remember in the team meetings, I was fucking dizzy as fuck. Spaced out before team meetings. You're supposed to eat them with food. So I was taking these painkillers. It was taking the edge off it. Still feel it, taking the edge off it. So get back in first team contention. Still not right. Away, UEFA Cup, Bannock Strava away. I'm sub. I come on the last 10 minutes. We end up winning. James Morrison scores a goal in injury time. We drew 1-1. So I played in the UEFA Cup. I'm thinking, oh, I fucking played in Europe. Great. Come back. Anyway, so the next match is a reserve match against Manchester United at the Riverside. Playing that, going for a block tackle. You know what it's like, block tackle at the best of times. Boom. Anyway, I came off because from that pain, suddenly it was that was a bit of a sharper pain now. Physio came off. He went, bloody hell, what a good test for your leg that was, son.
A good test?
Good test for your leg, that, son. Anyway, I went, still fucking hurting. Bear in mind, this is probably 6 months, 5 to 6 months trying to get myself fit in agony. Manchester United away at Old Trafford, first team. I'm in the squad. Something inside of me said, don't go. Don't know what. I could have maybe just muddled on through. This is Manchester United, like my team as such. I went to the physio. I said, Grant, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. I need someone to look at my leg.
Someone else to look at your leg.
Someone else. I need a second opinion on my leg. Something's not right. Well, you know what the physio's like. Physio's job normally is to report back to the manager and go, right, he's not fit for the weekend. I battered his head that much about my leg. He went, oh, you need to go and see McLaren. Me? isn't it? All right, yeah, you do. Anyway, so fucking go and see McLaren. Steve, I said, something's not right with my leg, mate. And I know you've picked me. I said, I need to get myself checked out. I'm not right. He said, Mal, right, we'll go and get a scan of it. We'll go and get a CT scan, proper scan of the bone. Let's have a look at it and see what's going on. I was like, why can't the physio say that? Do you know what I mean? Let's come on. It's not hard. Anyway, so
not like it's a League Two club where honestly, the scans
anyway, so they go off to Man United. I go to hospital, get a CT scan. Comes in. He said, you've got a stress fracture on your leg. He went, just so I know, he said, you've not been playing and training on it, have you? I went, not been training. I said, I've played 5 reserve games. I've played UEFA Cup match and I've just played 80 minutes for the reserves. And I told him about that block tackle. He went, fucking hell. He said, your leg could have fucking snapped in half. I'd been playing and training the whole time with a broken leg. The whole time.
Okay, now.
It never, ever healed. So all that time I was out injured, and all that time that I was muddling through the sessions, all that time I had a broken leg. And do you know what? I suppose at that point, what would have been helpful for me, where I was feeling, was an apology. I didn't get one. I never got an apology, and that hurt tremendously, and it still hurts to this day that there was never, Mal, do you know what? Sorry, got that wrong. And do you know what? Getting that decision wrong affected everything. So you can imagine when I'm training and playing on a broken leg, what is, and I'm limping, basically a disguised limp as such, what's all that doing to my left-hand side? Because I think of the stresses and strains that's putting through my left-hand side. So I have the operation. It needs operating on. You need a pin in there, stabilise the bone, lock it in, top and bottom with a screw, and hopefully we'll have you playing in 2 months or whatever. So there I went in for the operation. I got back. They ended up doing all that. Again, worked on fitness. And do you know what? I ran and there was no pain. And it was, thank God for that, finally. No pain there. Like, I'd had a year of agony with it. Then, as I was running more and more, suddenly I got myself back into the first team. So I'd worked myself so hard and so through everything. And I played, he brought me back into the team, and I played 1 game against Blackburn Rovers. And as I went down to chase the keeper, I went in and chased the keeper down, and I pushed off with my left foot. Oh, fucking hell. Ooh, that's fucking hurts. And straight away, I was like, every time I put my foot down, I felt a similar pain and I felt my leg. And I came off the pitch, they x-rayed it, and I'd got a stress fracture in my foot.
Is this the other
in my left foot?
This is your left leg?
Because I'd been putting every bit of weight and stresses through my left foot. I'd developed a stress fracture in the outside of my left foot. I'd need to be operated on. Jesus. So I had a pin in my foot, which then kept me out again for a while. I then came back from that, got into training, and the pin that they'd put in my knee, they hadn't knocked it down far enough. Sorry, in my leg, the metal pin, they hadn't knocked it down. So every time I ran, the pin flicked over my tendon on my knee. So it caused me incredible pain when I ran. The more I ran on it, it ended up flicking over my knee. So he x-rayed it, he said, the pin needs to come out. So they had to take the metalwork out of my leg. So they took the metalwork out of my leg, and they took the metalwork out of my foot as well. So then I was obviously metal free. So, fucking hell, it's incredibly difficult telling this because it's like fucking painful. Then I got myself fit again. So instead of them going, okay, right, your body's been through fucking bit of shit there. Let's just relax. Let's just bring you back to time. So what did they do? They fucking battered my foot. They ended up putting weight vests on me, ended up going up and down the stairs at Rockcliffe. You know, while everyone's going up and down for the lunch, there was me on my weighted vest, up and down the stairs and weighted vest, walking round Rockcliffe Hall, the old site, weighted vest on, box jumps, box steps. I fucking did that much. I refractured my foot.
Surely a stress fracture is exactly that. You're putting too much stress through it. So why?
Well, I don't know. I trusted these guys to be doing the right thing for me, and I also developed because my feet, I wasn't on my feet enough, and my plaster cast was tight on my foot. I also developed Morton's neuroma underneath my feet, which is a neural problem when your nerves get pinched together under your feet. So when I had my metal workout, I also had the nerves removed under my feet as well.
You know what I was thinking when you were saying before the first spell out and you were going to him saying, I'm in pain. He'll have thought you were a soft fucker.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He'll have thought fucking mentally weak.
Exactly.
Soft.
Yeah. Exactly, Brownie. And that's exactly what I took from that. And I kind of had that vibe that, he doesn't fancy going through the pain.
And you going to see him before the Man U games, him going,
go
and tell him yourself.
Yeah.
Did you question yourself as well? Am I soft? Am I being soft here?
Well, you know your own body, and I knew exactly where I broke my leg, and I knew that was a sharp pain. It wasn't like a dull ache or something that I felt was. It never went away. Never from the day I broke it. From a couple of years later, it never went away.
That duty of care is to listen to your patient, if you will, who you're a physio for, and act on it. So
literally the whole of my time, I only was fit for the last probably 9 months of my Middlesbrough, but my body, I've been out of football for so long. I'd missed, by this stage, I know I've almost fast forwarding in time there. You're talking probably 3 years of going through that. From then suddenly everybody wanted me when I was kind of fit to be the same player, but my body was just not the same. I was built on speed. I'd lost half a yard. I wasn't the same player anymore. You know, Steve McLaren left, he went to be the England manager. And then obviously Gareth Southgate took over. And God bless Gareth, obviously he just saw me as an injured player. I'd spent so much time with Gareth in the physio room as well, because he was an injured footballer as well, quite a lot towards the end of his career. I spent so much time rehabbing with him, so he didn't really see me as a fresh signing or something. He just saw me as a stigmatised, injured player.
Have you got any grounds for a legal case for this, or have you looked into it?
I don't know. I just sort of, I went through so much shite with regards to my treatment that, the way that my body adjusted and the way that my body changed and altered, the gait that I used to run at, the way that my body would run, the way that I'd put my feet down, everything from that changed. Even to this day, this leg's not bigger than that leg. Yeah, it's everything changed for me and my body. And it also culminated in obviously when I did retire, I left Middlesbrough in the June 2007. I ended up finishing my football career at Leeds, and I fractured my back. And I know that was all related. The stresses and strains that I'd put on my body throughout being out injured and throughout that I'd put on being in plaster cast and everything, all the stresses and strains that I'd put on, and I fractured my back in training at Leeds United, which finished me off in January 2009. I just don't think they knew what to do with me. Honestly, I just got that vibe that I was a long-term injured player, and I just don't know. They knew that they'd made the wrong decision by not operating on me, and then it was like a dominoes effect. And once it gone, it was out of hand. And there was no grabbing that. Once that domino's gone, you can't get it back.
Well, it sounds like you're more of a guinea pig. You're like a fucking patchwork quilt. We'll try a bit of this. We'll try a bit of that.
Then you come back from that. The fans expect you to be. We signed it and they expect you to be, the same. And I've managed to probably put this right, because I know I hadn't. I left Middlesbrough and everyone's injury prone, this, that, and the other. Yes, I had my injuries, but hopefully when people hear this, they'll realise that from a simple leg break, in my opinion, that should have just been treated with an operation, and I would have been back within 3 months, possibly 4 months, and I could have looked ahead for my whole career and had a successful time at Middlesbrough in the glory years. I missed out on all that. And I had to sit by as a passenger and watch Viduka come in, Hasselbank, Yakubu, all these guys do what I should have been doing, and I couldn't do it. And I had to sit from the sidelines and watch, even the Carling Cup final. Yeah, I was in the stand with the supporters watching the game. Wasn't even part of the team. Wasn't even part of the celebrations. They had me up in the stand. when you're in, you want to feel part of the team, don't you?
Yeah,
They're so desperate to feel part of the team. And for me, not to be part of the Carling Cup squad or the experience of it, of winning something, not to be out there, to be shoved up in the crowd with the rest of the supporters, horrible. To see, your teammates there on the pitch.
I always scored the extra time winner to.
Yeah, I scored in the earlier round. So look, I'm not pining for a medal or anything like that, which I didn't get. But, it would have been nice just to feel that you were part of something, be along with the team, travel along, we spend some time, go in the dressing room to be able to share the experience with the... Come on, that's not too much to ask, is it? Do you know what I mean? Rather than being up in the stand, watching, having to applaud the team. That was tough to take.
We've had lads on who've battled with injuries for, say, 2-3 years, and when they do get back, they see it as they've been given a second chance and they can finish the career just for the love of the game. But if I put myself in your situation, I think I'd be frustrated that I wasn't the same player.
Yeah, I was bitter because I left Middlesbrough and ultimately ended up in League One with Leeds United. But I found myself from my Middlesbrough contract, which I was being paid a decent amount of money, as we know, suddenly from the June 2007, from when I retired in January 2009, I earned a total of £5,000. I played 5 times for Leeds and I got £1,000 an appearance. That's the amount of money I earned. I couldn't get a club. No one wanted to touch me.
Do you have insurance?
They didn't pay out. They said that I had a degenerative back condition.
Yeah, I think if I'm in your situation, mate, I'm as bitter as they come.
Yeah, and that's, you can understand. People say to me, like, and they say, how did you fall out of love with football? Hopefully, so you've got my book coming out. Read my book, and you understand why I kind of got a little bit bitter with regards to football and stuff, and some of the experiences that, I got my injury in 2000 and November 2003, and I left as an injured player in January 2009. That's a long time. That's a bloody long time to be fighting yourself, your body, your head. Awful long time.
When you left Middlesbrough, because you must have known that the contract you wouldn't get a new contract.
That's right. Yeah.
Where are you at mentally? Are you thinking, right, I can get back, I can go again, or
I was thinking I was a Premier League player in my head. I never wanted to lose that. Like, I'd left Derby to be a Premier League player. I'd got myself fit towards the end of my time at Middlesbrough, and still thought in my head I was a Premier League player. Obviously, people didn't look at me and think that. They thought that you needed to step down or whatever. But no one was going to offer me a contract. That's the way the problem was. Nobody wanted to offer me a contract. And then when the phone rings and they tell me that Hull City want to take me on trial, but it actually turned out that they didn't really want to take me on trial. It was my agent trying to find a club who would fucking entertain me. You go to Hull and, like, I was training with the reserves and the youth team. There was other stuff. You have to read the book. There was millions of stuff that happened at Hull that left me in a position where I basically left. Like, I needed to get out of there because, like, I was like, yeah, there was a lot of things happened with Phil at Hull that left me in a position where it was an awful experience. And I ended up then at Leeds United with Dennis Wise, Gus Poyet were there. Dennis was really good with me. He said, right, we'll do playing a reserve match, contract set up, grand a match. And he said, right, we'll sign that on the in the afternoon. We'll play the reserve game and then we'll get you around the first team. Brilliant. We did a crossing and finishing session on the morning, played the ball into me. I twisted, bang, fell on the floor, tried to get up, whole back went into spasm. I went in, physios looked at me, and I broke my back. I broke my vertebrae. The morning of the afternoon I was due to sign my Leeds contract. You know what I mean? And from what I'd been through, bear in mind previous things, and I know, maybe I did have a weakness in me, but I don't know. Maybe it was a culmination of all the time, the months and months and months I'd spent in crutches, or the stresses and strains that my body was being put under because I just wasn't running like I used to before. By that stage, I was like, is that it? Is that the end of me? And I was like, I didn't want my career to be finished with an injury.
Are you not getting paid?
No.
Coming back? Have you signed a contract?
No, I hadn't. I've signed the contract in the afternoon. Bear in mind, it was basically wouldn't have been worth the pay
as you
written on
play.
anyway, because it was pay as you play. So it's not like I was having a 50 grand a week contract there that I didn't sign.
So getting back from this injury then, you're not getting paid?
No. So every day, Leeds were great to me. They stood by me, like let me go in every day. And I was just so desperately trying to get myself fit. I'd worked so hard for months and months and months, probably about 11 months, getting myself in a position where I was fit again. Then Dennis Wise gets sacked. Gary McAllister took over. And he was very similar to Dennis. He played the game, knew me, nice guy, had a conversation with me, said, Matt, I'm quite happy to be in here, use the facilities, get yourself fit, and we'll just take it as it is. I worked so hard. I got myself back training with the lads. You're talking about, Jermaine Beckford. It was a good, Becky-O. It was that Leeds United team that was ended up getting promoted, I think, the following season. So really, really good lads. I really enjoyed the dressing room. It was good, finally, that I could experience a little bit of that I'd missed for so long. And then I played a couple of reserve games, and then we played Northampton away in the FA Cup, and he fucking picked me. Like, I can't believe it. Me and Beckford were up front. We ended up winning 5-2, and I was like, I wasn't the same player. Not at all. But mentally, I ticked that box. I've got fit and I'm playing again. And for me, that was probably everything that I needed. Then I played 2 more games, and then Gary McAllister got sacked as well. So the 2 managers that wanted to give me a chance both got sacked. Then Simon Grayson took over. And I was in a position where straight away, he didn't fancy me. And for me, what was I? Very easy target. Wasn't on a contract, pay as you play. So I caught a clock that straight away that he didn't fancy me. And what happened was, I'd played a couple of games. I'd scored as well. So I'm immensely proud that I'd scored away at Stockport. We ended up winning 3-1. I came off the bench, I think with about half an hour to go. Scored my last ever professional goal for Leeds United. Which was fantastic, celebrating in front of the Leeds. These travelling fans were fucking incredible. Like, celebrating in front of them, brilliant. Next game, Peterborough United. I turn up to the ground, puts the squad up, announces the squad. I'm not in the squad. Bear in mind, I'm only getting paid here. I've trained all week, been, playing pretty regular, not in the squad. I went into the bar area, saw a couple of the other lads who weren't in the squad. I said, fucking hell, it's a bit harsh, isn't it? I said, I know. He said, why didn't he tell you before? You probably wouldn't have come, would you? Or why didn't he tell you throughout the week? At least you would have known. He's like, got me there, sat there in front of everyone. I'm not in the squad. So I was like, oh. And then players would go, oh, go home. Just get yourself. I said, no, I'm staying. So I said, I'm going to go back down to the changing room. I'm going to wish the lads the best. Anyway, so I go to walk from the players' lounge back to the thing. And I hear Grayson's voice, I clock. And he goes, I tell you what, I don't fucking care if he's disappointed. I'm not fucking picking him. I don't fucking care if he's getting paid as you play. And I was like, I was just about to walk around the corner. He was like, fucking hear his voice here. And that was it. I was done. I retired in that split second. That was it. Got in the car. I went home and I said, I'm retired. Done. Finish. I couldn't go anymore. I'd been through so much in them last few years and so much in that last year at Leeds that I needed something to tell me that I was done. And that was a moment. I'm not saying I'm glad. I suppose I did need that moment in my head to say that, Malcolm, you're not the same player. You're never going to be the same player. You're not wanted. I've the stigma attached to me. Where am I going to go from here? Who's going to offer me a contract? I've left Leeds now. They don't want me. And I've gone. I've just fucking gone mentally. Gone. I just went home and I said, I'm done. I retired. And do you know what? Retired and I think Leeds put out something that said, Malcolm Christie has left the club by mutual consent or something. And I put that right mind straight away. I went, can I just say it's not by mutual consent. I've left the club on my terms. It's my decision to leave. I think that was important, not to leave where people thought that it was my decision. Yeah. And I'm so glad I left on them terms. That was the sort of sorry, painful end of my football career. It sort of was over in a flash like that.
It's hard because you got that little bit of love from Wise and McAllister, didn't you? They probably kept you clinging on. Maybe there's
Yeah.
There is one last throw of the dice. Somebody's going to give us the belief and the chance. And then in the end, it was just, you were just a number, weren't you? To Simon Grayson.
Yeah. He didn't. So look, you know, it was his prerogative to do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
He didn't know my story. He didn't know what I'd been through. Yeah, he might listen to this, or he might hear extracts of stuff and think, oh shit, well, didn't realise he went through so much fucking mental torture and whatever. But you know, he did what was right for him as a manager with his team. He didn't think I was going to be part of it, which was okay with him. But obviously for me, what I needed was, as you said, that arm round, we're going to support you, or, you know, just for him just to leave me out without saying a thing, and then to hear that, you know, that was it.
Was the party that was relieved?
Yeah.
Driving away?
Yeah, definitely. Big part of me that was relieved, because I had no more to give. Took so much, honestly, from breaking my back in that training session at Leeds to actually play for Leeds. Took everything out of me. Everything. Like, and not to get paid and to do it day in, day out, turn up at the training ground. Like, softens a blow a bit when you're doing it at Borough, when you're earning X amount a week. You know what I mean? Like, softens a blow a little bit. You're doing that when you're not getting paid a penny.
But then to go through that and then hear those words, like you said,
yeah,
I can understand why those
there was
words were
mixed
the
emotions, of
breaking
course.
point.
Yeah, heartbreaking as well, but a relief that, like, I don't know. It's like I was looking for something. Do you know what I mean? I was looking for that fucking maybe get out of jail card where I could say, I'm not enjoying this anymore. And that's so hard, because from 6 years old, football was everything for me. And it is now. I've gone sort of full circle with things. And to fall out of love with football and don't associate myself with football, how I ended up my career and how I ended up, so hard for me to see myself at 29 being in the position that I was with football, which was hating it. The highs that it gave me was somebody else's highs. It wasn't me. It felt like it wasn't me that did that. Them times that I'd had and the memories that with me, I'd forgot about them. That was somebody else. That was Malcolm Christie, the footballer. That suddenly wasn't Malcolm Christie who retired, that had sort of held a little bit of resentment for what I'd been through. Incredibly hard transition to make from falling out of love, losing your identity and having to reinvent yourself with the ghost of the footballer around you all the time.
Especially someone who seemed to be so in love with the poetry of football as well, you know, going into the club shop and buying the shirt and buying into
And I was such a massive football, and to lose that as well, like, and I lost that for probably 7 years. Didn't watch football for 7 years after I retired.
What did you turn to then? Where did you get your strength from? If you took away from football, what did you...
I just had to lie low and just lose that ghost of Malcolm Christie, the footballer. It took me 3 years, I think, to sort of do nothing with myself. Hope that I don't get recognised in the street somewhere. Somebody asked me what I'm playing for and am I retired? I didn't do. I retired. I never did it wasn't on Sky Sports fucking breaking news, was it? You know, Malcolm Christie retired from football. No one gave a shit. In some respects, I suppose I wanted that to happen so people would know. So people bumping into me in the streets would be like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, no, I'm not doing anything." "Oh, you retired." "Oh, when did that?" You know, the same stories you're telling about your injuries, you end up telling about "Oh, well, I'm not doing anything," because I never got the opportunity to say that. So yeah, I just lied low for a few years.
You feel like the book hadn't closed officially? Because you've got this little statement from Leeds United, and like you said, all those highs, your football career, everything you'd done, that rise, and all of a sudden you'd walked away from Leeds and what, like nothing.
There was no symbolisation of something ending in a new chapter. So that's why it was hard for me to sort of, at the time, I had my two young boys came along, so I became a stay-at-home dad, really. It wasn't like I was doing nothing, so I became a stay-at-home dad. But at some respects, I was like, you come to the third year and you think, I just need to get out of the house. I can't have this affect me forever. Like, it's affected me throughout my football career. It's affected me now I've retired. I just can't have it. So I ended up in the motor industry. I don't know how, why. I ended up writing a letter to everyone around me, dealer principals, please can I have a job? Simple as that. I've done it before at the supermarket when I wrote to all the supermarkets back in the day asking for a part-time job. I did it again. And someone gave me a chance and I ended up, my career went and my life went down a different path away from football. In the motor industry, working as a car salesman, doing fairly well with it. Didn't really enjoy what I was doing, in all fairness. Nothing will ever give you the highs of what I achieved and the relative lows. So in some respects, it was nice to go on a little journey, which was not many bumps, but I didn't love it. It wasn't my passion. Staying in it for a number of years made me reflect as my boys go older. You know, boys start asking you, Dad, were you a footballer once? Yeah, I was. Oh, tell me about that then. Fucking, their dad played in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking to myself, oh my God. Like, so I was a kid, my dad, you know, I loved my dad immensely. My dad was a printer by trade. If my dad played in the Premier League, do you know what I mean? I'd want my dad to be proud and show me stuff and they started kicking a ball about and I started playing football with them in the back garden and they joined a football team and that was it. The you know, that little light just flickering inside of me, taking them to training, like wanting to take training sessions, seeing them kick a ball about. And I'm like, it just took me back to that 7-year-old Malcolm Christie, the normal kid who had the love for football. Forget about that side of things. But football gave me so much. I achieved my dream, my lifelong ambition of doing what I did, you know, scoring at Old Trafford and things like that, that I didn't want a bad experience for the boys, my boys growing up, to have that hanker over them as well and anchor them down and think, well, my dad doesn't talk about his football. Yeah. Why doesn't my dad talk about his football? Why is my dad not proud? I'm proud of him. Why? And it's gradually going to the sessions, taking them to football, taking them to matches. God, never been to a football match. Suddenly I was going to St James's Park, the Riverside. I went to Hull City. I wanted to go everywhere. I wanted to take them to matches. And it ignited that passion inside of me. Realised what I wanted to do in my life moving forward, which wasn't in the car industry. It was to use the experiences that I've had in my life, the highs, the lows. And once the rediscovery of the football was there and I could watch it, and I could watch it easy, I could look back at myself. I visited my mum and dad. Mum and dad have encyclopedias of me, these paper clippings that I mentioned earlier. God, I can look at them now. You know, look at the picture of when I signed for Derby and they took me back to Summerfield Supermarket. And I was putting the tin of beans on the shelf while the Sun newspaper were taking a photo of me in the shelves. Like, I look back and think, what the fuck was I doing? But things like that help.
I work in the dairy bit.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. I remember thinking at the time, I remember saying, I put the milk out, I don't do the beans. So, you know, looking back and the comical things and the stories and everything that sort of brought back to me, I want to be that person again, somewhere, an amalgamation of that person and not be defined by that.
Can look at it
6 years,
with
which
pride
it did,
again.
6 and 8, or, 14 years. I need that man back. That man's got to come back. And, through hard work, my wife, who I met in 2014, go from the pit of despair when we kind of met, which I was going through, to be the person that I am now. She's been by me and supported me through all of that. We've got a son together who's 4 years old, and maybe his journey, I'm trying to just help, whether it's through coaching, mentoring, I don't want my story to be like, because it is, my story does get quite deep and down and things like that, but I don't want, people who sort of see my story as like, I've rediscovered my love for football. Yeah. And it's what I needed in my life for the next, however many years I'm on this planet.
It sounds like you've led that phoenix from the ashes kind of twice within your football career, from Sunday League to Premier League, to falling out of it and seeming like you're in a place now where there's going to be some positive aspects from it.
I hope so. I'd love to be a coach in a professional environment again. That's my ambition and my aim. I'd like to be a manager. Obviously I've been out of football for a number of years, but I don't know where my journey. I mean, you look at 19 years old. Would you just said I'll play in the Premier League in a couple of years' time? Absolutely not. So you just don't know where your journey's. You just don't know. All I know is I'm focused on what I'm doing at the moment, which is coaching young kids in terms of developing their own football journeys. And if that leads to opportunities in the professional game as well, where I can help people and players with some of the experiences that I've had in my unique journey from relative obscurity to representing, my country and playing the Premier League and stuff, hopefully people can relate to that in some way.
And you've got a book out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, that's been somewhat of a cathartic experience to do that. You know, as you've probably understood now from my story, it's been important for me to tell some of the tales of my past that I've been able to tell. It goes deep inside of, you know, my journey and how we've sort of experienced there, but it also touches on my sort of personal life as well, family life, which we haven't really touched on in terms of speaking here, which obviously, you know, some issues, you know, going on through there. So the book's out on the 29th of June. Pre-orders, obviously, depending on when this.
So it'll be out by the time this comes out
when this podcast
so
is
you can
released.
go and get it now.
So so it will be.
Yeah, go and get it.
So it'll be out now, and I just hope that, you know, I'm not, you know, Michael Owen, David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, Peter Crouch, all these guys that you see their autobiographies of. You know, I've had the chance and opportunity to read their stories and stuff. I just hope that mine doesn't just appeal to the fans and of the clubs that I played for, you know, Derby, Middlesbrough and Leeds, but appeals to just everybody on a general level as well.
What's it called, by the way, the book? Just so
I've just said it, Reality of the Dream.
Oh, Reality.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that.
It's the Reality of the Dream. It's my unique journey from non-league to the Premier League.
Go and buy it.
We appreciate you coming on, mate.
Yeah,
Sharing
thank you
it with
very
us.
much, mate.
Thanks a lot,
Really enjoyed
guys.
that.
Appreciate your time.
Brilliant.